welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Rollison, also known as T-Roll, and tonight I'm joined by some very good company, good friends of mine. First of all, we got Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy. We also have Anthony Amato. We like to call him Shamato. And, of course, we got my boy, Apple Zach Markham with us as well. Gentlemen, it is so good to see y'all. I've been out of the office for a week or two.
You have been, yeah. Welcome back, man.
Yeah, man.
We had a Tyler replace you, though.
I know.
Yeah. Sweat, that is.
Dude, yeah. Big shout out to Sweat, the return of the Sweat man. He came back and filled in for me. We very much appreciate that. It was funny. There's a friend of mine. Shout out my boy Jermaine, if he's listening and or watching. He texted me and he said, "Dude, are you off the pod now?" And I was like, "Man, I missed like 2 episodes, and some people are thinking I'm gone."
Are you off the pod now? Dang,
hey,
dude.
it's fair, man. I'm very replaceable. I understand that, so there's no worries.
You're a founder. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But hey, big shout out to all of our viewers, all of our listeners. We want to thank you guys so much. Please like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our podcast channels. Really, anywhere that you can find us, please subscribe. Leaving comments and reviews also help us out a lot, so please do that. Also, we can broadcast our socials, right? We got an Instagram page, we got a TikTok page, we got a Facebook page, we got a Twitter page, we got a lot.
Yeah, at Royal Geek Pod, and we
right.
actually have something fun going on Instagram right now. We are doing a bracket. We love brackets here on the podcast, we're doing top trilogies, and so we have an 8-team bracket going on of the top trilogies. So you can go to our Instagram at Royal Geek Pod, and you can vote on matchups, and it's been fun so far. We got a lot of engagement, so we really appreciate you guys out there voting and just being a part of it. It really means a lot to us. So definitely keep voting, and the matchups are going to get more intense in the second round. I promise you that.
Man, brackets are fun. We've done a few of them on the pod.
Yes,
they're a really good time. So, all right, boys, I think it's time to talk about some She-Hulk. You guys want to talk about She-Hulk?
Let's talk about She-Hulk.
Let's talk about Jen.
Just Jen.
Yes, just Jen.
So episode, what is this? 5?
6.
Yeah,
this is 6.
We're in 6 already?
We are,
Yep.
yes.
All right. Episode 6 of She-Hulk. I feel like that says a lot right there. Just Jen is the title. Here's your spoiler warning. We're going to jump right into it. It was a wedding episode.
Yeah,
Yep.
It was a self-contained wedding episode.
And that was her fourth wall break, too,
Yes,
right?
it was. So I appreciate them telling us what it is right off the bat. Like, for example, the opening episode 1 when they told us it was a lawyer show, right?
Yeah.
I do respect the fact that they told us what they were giving us. However, with that being said, we are 6 episodes into the series, and I feel like the main storyline is still kind of...
What main story?
We don't,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
don't even really...
Exactly.
I mean, is there a villain
Right.
yet?
Is there a villain?
Is there a
Like-
hero?
Is that you're right though. She hasn't chose to do heroing? Like is that like she didn't like she
Heroic deeds?
Yes.
Really, she's only truly ever just defended herself. Like,
Right.
more than really anything else. Like, any
Yeah.
of her, like, any moment that you could say would be heroic, I mean, was really just her defending herself against the...
Selfishly.
Yeah. Well, not selfishly necessarily, but just defending herself. Like, for example, in this episode, she was just defending herself against Titania. In the courtroom episode, she was really just defending herself against Titania. In the episode where she fought off the couple of people who were trying to get her, turned her
blood,
to getting
yeah.
her blood, she was really just
Defending
off
herself.
defending herself against, some people who were trying to do what she thought rob her, basically.
Yeah. Like at the wedding again in this one.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
I mean, but with Blonsky, though, I guess to some respect, she was defending her career. Like, this was her only shot.
She was forced to represent him, and
She didn't want to
Yeah.
at first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, we just got much deeper really quick than I thought we were going to.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna be like a big crap fest in the beginning of this, but then we just peeled back the layers. Thanks to you, Shamato.
Yeah.
We unlocked a new door.
Yeah, I kind of see it in a new light, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, she's a super powered person, but it's a fair question to say, like, is she a superhero? That's a really fair question. Like she really hasn't. She hasn't done anything like heroic yet. I mean, I guess you could say she saved those people in the courtroom in episode. What was it? Episode 2 from Titania, right?
I think it was the very end, episode 1.
Was it the very end of episode 1?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
very
I think it was the last thing that we see.
Okay, so even better. Episode 1. that was a month and a half ago. You know.
Yeah, it was. You're right, and we still feel like we've gotten nowhere with this thing.
Yeah.
So, the last 3 episodes, I feel like is going to be a major arc, though. Like that's just me.
Hopefully, yeah.
No, how can you say that? We said that every week. Every week we say that.
I mean, they've just been hinting so much at like there's so much that they're hinting at, like that there's like it feels like they're like continually telling you to dig, and like we're eventually going to get to something, but at some point, I mean, you run out of time to dig. It's kind of how it feels right now. Which I'm really hoping there's something there. It's gonna be hard because I mean I feel like you're gonna have to devote at least half of an episode at some point to the kind of the introduction of whatever villain there is, if there's gonna be any sort of like true connection to whatever villain we're gonna
Marvel
have.
doesn't have to do that.
Listen, I feel like we're not gonna have to worry about She-Hulk sticking the landing as far as a Marvel series goes, because this show has yet to take a leap. Like there's no craziness that this show is making right now that's making us be like, oh man, this is reaching a next level in Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like it's not.
Well, superhero landings are overrated anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yelena says that.
I mean, truthfully, if you think about it, it is kind of filling the idea that you would really think of a street level hero would normally fill. Like should fill, not as like, because a lot of the street level heroes actually do end up having these huge, like almost, comical sized like villain connections. It's like world ending events, and this guy is supposed to be, just fighting for his neighborhood type of stuff. Whereas this one is literally just a street level type of stuff. You have a villain that you kind of get in a little bit of a fist fight with and stuff like that. You're kind of doing your basic kind of thing. So maybe more accurate version of what a street level hero really should be.
Guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
Did you feel that way watching Daredevil on Netflix though? Like I don't. I feel like
that's what I'm saying though. Is
he
like
felt larger than life though. Like,
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is like it starts out. What ends up happening is they start at street level, and then over time, because of the nature of television, they have to continue to build the stakes, that it balloons to a point to where it's like world-ending stuff instead of, where it starts out as like he's just trying to help out one case or something like that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Man, I don't want to be like ultra negative, but I mean, it's been a good. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's She-Hulk. It's Marvel content. I'm happy with it. I still feel
it was entertaining. The episode was entertaining.
Yeah. So like individually, like I think the problem is, right, every Marvel fan, including myself, wants there to be like some big story, right?
It really pushing the narrative, pushing the MCU forward, which in a way you can't keep
doing.
Yeah, you can't, because at some point you're pushing. If you're pushing out this much content, you can't also be pushing the storyline as far out as well, because now what you're doing is you're potentially negatively affecting your movie franchises, which are kind of where your big money is still. I mean, yeah, you're making a lot of money in TV series, but you're also, like, your movie franchises are generally what's pushing the real story in the MCU timeline. Whereas some things kind of gotta like tell a story and stay relatively in the same orbit as itself,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's an okay show. At some points, it's funny. I think if you just individually watch the episodes and have kind of low to mid expectations, you'll enjoy it. Again, I don't want to sound so negative, but I mean,
right.
There's just a reality that Marvel can't keep continuing to like, and truthfully, a lot of their shows haven't been home runs. Some of them have been. We've talked about this many times. I feel like we're beating we've done this a lot.
But should a lawyer sitcom be Marvel's wheelhouse? No, it shouldn't, right? It needs to be action, a little sprinkle comedy,
mystery,
right? Like, mystery, some supernatural maybe, but so I don't know if they was they were sitting here at their board meeting. They're like, hey, you know what? I got an idea. Let's let's do something different. And then like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And then now that it's all airing, like Feige, the Hat Man, it's like, yeah, we missed that one.
Yeah, which is fine. Like you're gonna make mistakes, and
I think this show would be a lot better received if they kind of like pulled the tag of She-Hulk off of it in a way. So like if it was just about a person who receives superpowers and them dealing with the issues of becoming a superpowered being, and it wasn't necessarily tied to like the MCU, I think it would be received better. I think in general, just because of the fact that it's like, oh, it's a very like it's a kind of an interesting idea to think of. Okay, so this person was a public attorney and now is a defense attorney, and them dealing with the struggles of gaining superpowers. If we weren't thinking of the idea of this has to be Marvel and it has to be working towards this larger universe, kind of getting back to what we were saying, if we were just thinking, pulled that tag off and it was just a random superpowered being instead of a specific superpower being, I think it would be a lot better received.
Yeah.
Because it's been relatively enjoyable. It just hasn't been, I think the biggest thing is just hasn't, really revealed any super big, villains yet. And it hasn't, really truly majorly contributed to the MCU timeline yet.
Yeah. The other thing they could have done is like, I feel like the other big disappointment is that they're releasing this like from week to week as like a suspense type thing. And if they would have just released it all where like you could have binged it and they would have focused like, their eyes on something else that's more like storytelling, something that, keep your eye on, all that kind of stuff. I feel like it would have been better perceived versus like this is actually like what they're releasing like every Wednesday.
Right. I feel like, if we get to the end of this and you see that, oh yeah, if I watched episodes 1 through 9, I would have gotten this development of this character.
Correct.
And you would have been more into the show, but because they're doing little by little by little by little, and we feel like we're getting nowhere. But by episode 9, we should have the full picture.
Yeah.
And it either going to be awesome or it's going to be another whiff by Marvel. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like I've said that multiple times now. So, it's all right. I guess to all of our listeners, we're not trying to be like we don't want to be like negative. I think we have high expectations, but I don't think we are delusional Marvel fans. I feel like we're with reason we can like everything we've just been saying. It's like it makes sense why it's not Loki. It makes sense why it's not WandaVision, one of the better shows.
Right.
It's just, and it's nothing against like the historical accuracy of She-Hulk. It's nothing against like, it being a woman lead. We certainly don't mind that.
No,
it's just the fact that the show itself is just kind of like, meh. Yeah, it's meh.
Yeah.
And we're not soft either. Like I feel like we're at like a very like even keel. We're taking it for what it says it is. However, there's also misses.
There have been
admit
some,
and show the misses.
Yeah, there have been some episodes I've enjoyed. Joined? Yeah, some that I've been in. Yeah, some that I've enjoyed. But I think the big thing what I want in a Marvel show is, I guess I want the mystery, right? Like those tend to be week to week. Like when there's payoff, when they tease something.
That's what I miss.
Yeah, when somebody gets stabbed and they try to get her blood, and you're like, I can't wait to hear more about that. And a month later,
literally a month later,
you haven't seen anything else with that.
That's messed up.
Right? Yeah. Until this week, we actually did see another very
a nonverbal, like just you're following
a thick syringe, man.
Yes.
That thing, right? Or if like you see a mask of another superpowered person, you kind of want to see what happens there. And we haven't gotten that either. So
or even what she was supposed to be wearing, like
we haven't yet seen
even like just something like it feels like they're continually giving you these little nods, but have yet to really pay off.
You know what? You know this when she breaks the fourth wall and she's like, "That's right." What did she say? A self-contained wedding episode.
Yep.
I feel like that was just Feige giving us the bird.
Oh,
I think he's just like.
What if this show is all Feige just trying to tame the fans?
There's aspects of this show that feel similar in Marvel's like arrogance as in 2015 when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, and we're over there watching a movie that has a talking raccoon and not a raccoon but a talking tree, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like, but the thing is like that hit great.
Yes.
People loved it.
Yeah.
And just She-Hulk just has it.
No, it has not hit at all.
Yeah, I do feel like in some ways this show has been largely almost like a vent for Marvel's frustration at its fan base. Like, I feel like a lot of this has been been towards that, in the sense of the way that they've talked about people reacting to her as a hero, and is a lot of the way, like, it kind of is showing like Marvel being like, hey, fans, you need to get your stuff together in a lot of ways. Like, you guys are not, your overreactions, your, sometimes toxic behavior towards our people is really not okay, and you're kind of ruining the experience in the way that we've talked a lot about Star Wars fandom in a lot of ways. And I feel like that's part of what, like, I mean, that may be what this is this is Marvel's way of saying, hey, get your stuff together, Marvel fans. Like, this is supposed to be a fun experience, and if you are going to act this way, then, like, you're going to negatively affect the experience of everyone that is involved.
Wow, well said.
So that may be true. However, Star Wars hasn't came out with a sitcom.
Ooh, yet.
Yep. Hopefully never.
Hopefully never. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I understand. I totally agree with Shamato about, like, the similarities of the fan bases between Star Wars and Marvel. But again, the big difference is that Marvel has basically said, yeah, we can do whatever the heck we want. Let's do whatever the heck we want. And let's make, like, a horror movie. Let's make a lawyer comedy sitcom for, a 24-minute episodes. Like, they're just flexing their muscles and doing whatever they want, And to some extent, like, people are still going to watch it.
Yeah, they know we're all
certainly
gonna watch
are.
it.
Yeah, like, somebody is listening. You are listening to this podcast right now of us talking about this show that doesn't have the greatest reviews and blah blah blah. But you know what?
We still watched it.
Still watch it. Yeah. You know what? I think I'm just happy to have content, right? Like,
Right. Oh
Yeah.
man, we are.
you remember, like, when we
completely
started
spoiled
this
right now.
podcast, it was a desert.
We were scraping, like, it felt like we were...
Yeah, we were like, why did we start it in 2020?
Like,
That's a good
every
question.
single week, it seemed like we were just, like, bare bones. Like, what
Yeah.
can we actually do?
But
to
we
actually,
got creative, so go back in our archives and listen to some of the stuff, the rankings,
Yes.
the lists, and all of the
good
drafts.
stuff.
And there's some good stuff in there. We got really creative, and some of our
All
good-
right.
best stuff.
Well, here's what we need to do. Let's spend a couple minutes talking about some things in this episode that we did enjoy, thought were funny, thought were good. Like, did you guys like anything?
Yeah, okay, so...
Did you like something,
Mr.
Justin?
Immortal, all right? So I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but he was in the Book of Boba Fett. He was Mok Shai's. And
definitely looked familiar.
He was
Yeah.
the mayor's assistant, the one who was very eloquently speaking.
Oh,
yeah,
that
right.
makes
Okay.
sense.
His voice, like when they're in the episode of
His
She-Hulk.
attitude, you
yeah.
could tell, like, they were very similar.
Yeah, I
Like-
absolutely, I loved everything about him, especially like when they're when Nikki's sitting on the table trying to get everybody's demands, and then she says, "Okay, and you're gonna get 15 seconds of genuine eye contact,
and a sincere apology."
And then Mr. Immortal comes up and he's like, "Can we do any better with the eye contact?" And she's like, 20 seconds.
Well,
of
okay,
eye
so like the
contact.
biggest thing about that is the fact that he was cool with all the other agreements, but the 15 seconds of eye contact is the one that was like, whoa.
That's a rich person for you.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, I was talking about the if this is actually Marvel's way of telling its fan base to cool down. I actually kind of like the fact that Marvel's like, hey, we don't want this to turn into a toxic community. Kind of telling fans, we don't want you guys to act this way when we put out a female lead. We don't want you guys to put it out if we put out something that is more of a comedy and isn't necessarily driving the force forward. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with them, like, basically being like, hey, don't be bad people on the internet and, like, be purposeful trolls,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like, the internet is always going to internet, man. Sadly.
It's undefeated.
Yeah, people are going to be trolls. They're going to be rude.
Yeah.
At times, people are going to be racist, sadly. But it's just like, I don't know. As long as there's good content, I don't care.
Right, yeah.
And She-Hulk, it's not the greatest, but it's been fun.
I'm enjoying everything
I'll tell you what.
Nikki's doing.
Tell you what, like, a lot of the stuff at the wedding, like, it felt dumb and stupid at times, but
Yeah.
it was also funny,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Again, dude, I'm going to tell you guys what my friend Forrest told me my freshman year of college, okay? We were talking about
Was it
our
Run, Forrest, Run?
No. We were talking about our dining hall experience. If anybody who's ever been to college and ever had one of those all-you-can-eat, dining plans, you'll know exactly what I'm about to say.
Oh, yeah.
He said, look, man, when you go in the dining hall, you can't be expecting a 5-star meal. You just got to show up there expecting a 2-star meal. And you know what? Every now and then you're going to walk in there expecting a 2-star meal, and it's going to be like a 4 or 5-star meal. And you're going to be like, wow. And the lesson I learned there,
Wise man.
just keep your expectations in check. So and it's nothing to do with She-Hulk. It's nothing to do with Jen. It's more to do with Marvel, because although I have enjoyed a majority of the shows, there's been so many times, I'll never forget thinking, even how Sweat used to say this too. I think me and Sweat were similar, how we thought Hawkeye was like one of the best shows 5 episodes in. And then it got to the finale, and we were like, man, that really felt like a dud. Yeah. But the whole show, 5 of the 6 episodes, we loved.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like Marvel just has missed it with the shows a lot. But you know what, man? Go in there expecting a 2-star meal, and you won't be disappointed.
Very
you feel
well
me?
said. Very well said.
That's my boy Forrest right there. I doubt he's listening or watching, but...
Send him the link. Hey, you're going to want to listen to this episode.
Man, that'd be cool if I haven't spoken to him in a while, but Forrest, if you're out there, what's up, man?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. He used to give me an extra Chick-fil-A sandwich back in the day when he was working at Chick-fil-A.
Hey.
Probably shouldn't
heck
say
yeah,
that on
dude.
the on the pod, but all right. You guys got anything else to say about She-Hulk?
I do not, and
You guys want me to just keep going with old college stories, or
no? I mean, we could. We could. Why not? I will say this: if Daredevil's not in these last 3 episodes,
Dude,
I
shut
swear to
up.
you,
Shut up, bro.
I am going to flip this table over.
Yeah.
and
What did I just say about your
flip it right now.
expectations? You just ignored what I just told you.
Flip it right now, dude.
They
I don't
show
think
us the
it's strong
helmet.
enough.
No.
They show us the helmet.
Yeah.
How do they show us the helmet and not other
They showed us an Infinity Gauntlet 4 movies before they ever used it, right?
I'm pretty sure Daredevil's on my hat rim right now, under here.
Yeah.
And we need to see him.
That's all you're getting
Hey,
of it.
you know
buddy.
what? Episode 1, we also got that Iron Man helmet, but there's no Iron Man anywhere.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, I
don't
would
get
have been
it.
okay if the Daredevil helmet had been at the very end of the show. If they're not going to show him, but
Listen,
show he did episode
here's the
5 would be is rough.
Here's the thing. Forrest talked to you. He didn't talk to me. All right. So
No.
But I'm talking to you now.
I have an expectation.
No, but
We're
I-
greedy.
Man
Give
with-
me.
You guys are toxic.
This is a man with needs right here.
What'd you say?
So this is a man with needs right here.
Yes.
I have needs.
Yes,
All
he
right. But
does.
anyway, I don't have.
I mean, look, I want Daredevil.
Listen,
But I'm just
the only purpose.
called She-Hulk.
The only purpose of She-Hulk is to introduce Daredevil.
oh, I don't think so.
Wow. Oof.
That's an inside joke to a meme that Justin, or who sent it?
Me.
That
It was
you
me.
sent
It was me.
okay.
Yeah.
Great. Just so all of our listeners know, that was just an inside joke. He doesn't
Yes.
actually believe that, right, Justin?
I don't know. Did you create the meme?
No, I did not. Credits out there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an okay show. Look, maybe you'll come back next week and we like the episode. 2 or 3 episodes ago, you guys were excited about
Back
it.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Right? It whatever.
I mean, I believe it's been enjoyable for what it has been, but I'm not insanely excited about anything that's been going on right now.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, ladies and gentlemen.
Great She-Hulk. Yeah. I don't know what else to
No,
say.
that's it, man.
Yeah.
That's
Great.
it. That's
Okay.
a wrap.
All right, well, we'll try to be more positive, but we still love you, Marvel. We're here. We're sucked in. So,
Hat man.
we still will follow you to the end of the line. So,
Yeah. Just remember, guys, positive doesn't exist without negatives.
Okay. There you go. Wise.
There you go.
Wise.
Yeah, dude.
And on that note,
big shout out to all of our listeners, all of our viewers, everybody who has tuned in for this podcast, whether you're watching or listening. We love you very much, and we wow, I don't know if you guys can hear Beanie shaking over here, the pod dog. She's
Pod dog.
losing her mind. We're lucky she hasn't found a squeaky toy yet. But big shout out to all of our listeners and viewers. We love you guys, and we hope that you come back next week for a review of episode 7. And also this week we still have a lot of content to cover. We're about to do some recordings for podcasts on Andor, the newest Star Wars series, and also the latest episode of Rings of Power. So check those out. Follow us on all of our social media accounts. And with all that in mind, for my good friends Sandy, Shamato, Applezax, this is T-Roll saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time, you peasants.